A lawmaker representing the villages voted in favor of a GOP effort to punish Disney for its recent position on the Don't Say Gay bill. Anybody understand what the hell this is all about? I don't get any of this. Senator Dennis Baxley, Republican Lady Lake, was one of the 23 senators who voted Wednesday to strip Disney of many of its self-governing powers. Baxley sponsored the legislation offering known as the Parental Rights in Education bill, which touched off the culture war between Governor Ron DeSantis and Disney. Disney has opposed Baxley's legislation. Hence, the current special session of the Florida legislature, originally called to establish the political districting map, now has taken aim at the Reedy Creek Improvement District, a special district created in 1967 that provides Disney with unprecedented taxing and regulatory authority. I have no idea. See, I don't watch the news much anymore because of this kind of crap. I just don't. I don't get it. If I wanted to go to Disney, I'm just going to go to Disney. I don't care about the politics involved. I don't. But I do have my own personal beliefs. And if somebody that I know does something that's totally against my beliefs, no matter what they are, I just don't go. End of the story. A daughter of a couple in the villages convicted of sex with a teen student when she was a teacher will have to wear an ankle monitor after 2 years on the run. Stephanie Seabury, 30, pleaded no contest this week in Sumter County Court to a charge of violating her sex offender registration requirement. She had been placed under community control for 6 months and will be required to wear an ankle monitor. 6 months of community control will be followed by 3 years of probation. After nearly 2 years on the lam, she was taken into custody. Seabury's mother posted her $10,000 bond at the time of last year's arrest. Well, that's good, Mommy. Taking care of your daughter that sexually molests teenage kids and let her live with you in a retirement community. By the way, does this mic sound better this way? The first 2 reports that I've done, this is the setting on the mic. It cuts out a little bit of the background noise, the squeaking in the chair, and things like that. And it's not done through this machine over here that I can do that with, stuff, but it's a setting in the mic. And I don't know if I like it or not. I can hear the difference here. I don't know if you hear the difference there after it goes to YouTube. Next report, I'm going to put the mic back to its normal self. Okay, now we're back to our normal self. An 80-year-old villager with elderly signs of dementia was arrested Tuesday afternoon in an attack on his wife. Sumter County Sheriff's deputies were called at 3:50 p.m. to the home on Pinto Lane in the village of Santo Domingo, where the man's 77-year-old wife said that she had been struck in her head by her husband during an argument. The woman cried out in pain after she was struck, according to a arrest report from the sheriff's office. "I should have hit you harder," the man reportedly said to his wife. She told deputies that her husband has been showing signs of possible early onset dementia. She said she was afraid of him. The West Virginia native was arrested on felony charges of aggravated battery. He was booked without bond at the Sumter County Detention Center. As much as I feel for both of them here, because my dad had dementia and then he also had Alzheimer's, I do feel for both of them. And that this charge is not going to stick. And the police know that. They probably put the guy in jail just to protect her and maybe get him to calm down a little bit because legally they're not going to be able to make a charge like that stick with somebody that's already been diagnosed with dementia. And I assume he's been diagnosed by a medical doctor, not just by what she said. That's all the difference in the world. I've got a story that I'm going to put out for my Patreon members and maybe my YouTube members about what happened to my dad one time with a salesperson. And my dad was legally diagnosed with dementia and Alzheimer's. There is a difference. So if you're a YouTube member or if you're a Patreon member, keep an eye out for that. I'm going to do a little blog, but I'm going to do one. Remind me of that. Residents can learn about trash to electricity programs in the villages. Yeah, that's what we do now. I'm a big fan of it. You hear a lot of people say a lot of things about it, but I can tell that they've never been around it. I don't want to be insulting and say they don't know anything about it, but that's a fact. They just don't know anything about it. I used to deliver trash to one in Indianapolis. It's been there for 30 plus years. Downtown, literally almost in Indianapolis, is a burn trash to electricity place. It does not emit smoke out of a stack. beyond popular belief. It does not emit any kind of chemical stuff out of the stack beyond popular belief. It is about as clean outside as you can imagine. Now, when you get inside, what it really boils down to is all the trash trucks back up to this area. They dump everything. Then there's like this big payloader that picks this stuff up and goes over to an area and dumps it. And it's at the start of the, I'll call it an assembly line, kind of like it's a big, long, continually running belt. On each side of that belt are people. Behind these people is a storage kind of bin like thing. Each person there or a group of people there are assigned to pick out of this trash certain things. What's left is burnable, and that goes into a big fire pit, kind of like just a door that opens. It's just huge. That boils water, and the water goes up and turns turbines, and that creates electricity that they turn around and sell back to you. And so I'm a big proponent of it because I've said for years I've said it. It's just common sense to me. Two things we're going to have to stop doing in this country. We're going to have to stop it eventually. If we don't stop it, we're going to end up killing ourselves in one way or another. You're going to have to stop burying garbage. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard in my life. Burying garbage. It doesn't rot once you bury it. It just lays there and ferments, and eventually something's going to give way, and all that chemical crap in there gets washed down in your drinking water. You just got to stop burying that. Two is we're going to have to stop burying people. I know you don't like to hear about it. We just can't keep burying people where we grow food. Eventually, we're going to have more people in this country than what food we can grow, and we're there now. Half the stuff in the grocery store comes from a foreign country. We can't even grow enough here in our country anymore, I don't think, to feed ourselves. We better beware. Odell Rec Center and pickleball courts will be closed. The village of St. James adult pool will be closed. Police arrest a man in the village who is driving on a license which had been revoked due to drunk driving convictions. Julio Avencio de las Garza, I don't even know how to say this name, 36, pulled over at 3:10 a.m. Nothing good ever happens after midnight. Tuesday on State Road 44 at Buena Vista Boulevard, after a check of the license plate of his blue Toyota revealed the registered owner had a revoked license according to the arrest report. The native of Mexico claimed he did not know his license had been revoked. He had been arrested on a charge of driving under the influence on November 29 and convicted February 24th. Notice of a revocation had been sent to him on March 28th. He has 2 previous convictions of driving while license suspended in Palm Beach County. A drunk driving suspect was arrested after he was found unresponsive at Lake Sumter Landing. Sumter County Sheriff's deputies found 59-year-old Edward Charles Brooks of Summerfield at about 10 p.m. Wednesday in a red 2011 Dodge Caravan at Lake Sumter Landing at Old Mill Run. He was unresponsive in the driver's seat in the vehicle. The keys were in the ignition and the vehicle was running. The Toledo, Ohio native struggled through field sobriety exercises and resisted deputies' efforts to handcuff him. He refused to provide breath samples. He was arrested on charges of driving under the influence and resisting arrest. He was booked at Sumter County Sheriff's Office and released after posting a $2,000. Judge allows jailed son to have peaceful contact with his mother after alleged attack in the Villages. A chef at a restaurant in the Villages was arrested after an alleged attack sent a woman to a hospital in Ocala. Austin Tyler Kennedy, 28, of Fruitland Park, was booked Tuesday at the Lake County Jail on charges of battery by strangulation and false imprisonment. He was released after posting a $12,000 bond. He indicated he works as a chef at the Farm Shed restaurant at Spanish Springs Town Square. Kennedy, on-again, off-again girlfriend, said she had gone to Kennedy's home on Monday for dinner. She said he began to look through her phone and got angry when he spotted a message from her male roommate. Flipped a switch and went crazy. He grabbed her in a headlock motion and used his hand to cover her mouth and nose and began to choke her. Captiva Recreation Center pickleball and tennis courts will be closed. Rohan Recreation Center tennis courts will be closed beginning Monday. A driver with a suspended license, they always have a suspended license. It's this ongoing thing. A driver with a suspended license was arrested on a felony charge after a crash in the Villages. Fortino Salinas Castro, 37, in Wildwood, was involved in a crash at about 3:30 p.m. Wednesday on U.S. Highway 27 and 441 at Bell Cruz Drive. Castrino claimed another driver pulled out in front of him, causing him to crash into the other vehicle. A check revealed the Mexican's native's license had been canceled in 2006. In addition, he had been convicted twice in 2008 for driving while license suspended, once in Hardy County and once in Lake County. He was arrested on a felony charge of driving while license suspended. He was booked at Sumter County Detention Center and released after posting a $2,000 bond. You notice that I've mentioned in the last two reports, I think, about different accidents and tickets and all kinds of problems up on 27 and 441. I think I just won on this report here. Well, they're doing a ton of road construction up there. I've already reported that 2 or 3 times. They're adding a lane here and there, and they tore a bridge out. That's where a guy died because the area they were digging out collapsed, and the poor young man suffocated. It's all part of the construction thing up there. Lady Lake Police are warning drivers they will be ticketed for trying to take shortcuts through U.S. Highway 27 and 441 work zones. I'm not going to read any more of that because that's what it is. You got pictures up here. There's just barrels and things are everywhere, and people are doing some of the stupidest stuff. That's why I don't like going up there. You can report this stuff. You can everything. They know what's good and what's not good. It doesn't make no difference. Somebody that can't read English, somebody that can't speak English, or somebody that doesn't even have a driver's license that shouldn't be driving. I mean, these people are the ones up there cutting through the barrels to make U-turns and to make turns in places where you're not supposed to be making turns. And that's what's causing the problem. That's what's causing most of the wrecks and the accidents is that. So if you're on to be on 27 and 441, you're going to hit that traffic out there. Be very careful. 2 women's tennis teams from the villages recently placed second in their respective sectional tournaments at the United States Tennis Association National Campus in Orlando. The USTA launched its inaugural season last fall, prompting teams from around the state to form leagues based on USTA ratings. Sally Perkins and Marcia Plant are co-captains of the 7.0 and 8.0 65-plus teams, both of which won league title. Congratulations, young ladies. Brinson Perry Canine Dog Park closed through May the 1st. St. Catherine Neighborhood Recreation Area parking lot will be resurfaced. A woman with a long history of arrests in the villages has landed back behind bars. Katie Leanne Bell, 33 of Oxford, was booked without bond Thursday at the Sumter County Detention Center. She was taken into custody on a warrant charging her with failure to appear in connection with a felony charge of drug trafficking stemming from a 2019 arrest. Bell escaped prosecution last year in connection with the theft of a 2015 Yamaha gas-powered golf cart, which had been parked at Spanish Spring Lanes on Alvarez Avenue. Bell has a lengthy criminal record, including a 2017 shoplifting arrest in which she was accompanied by her grandmother. And when you go to these squares, Spanish Springs is the oldest one, and I think that's why they're having more trouble there than anywhere else. You don't know who these people are. It's all open to the public. You go up there thinking this is a 55-plus community, and you assume that most of the people there, other than visitors, are people that live here, and most of them are. But these people here are up there, and they're roaming around. And generally speaking, they're not up there roaming around enjoying the music or whatever. They're up there sometimes to steal your golf cart. A suspected prowler was apprehended after he was spotted peering in a window at a family's home. A Lake County Sheriff's deputy responded at about 7 a.m. Wednesday in Sunside Drive, where a homeowner said a man later identified as 33-year-old Zachary Elmore approached him asking for water. After the homeowner denied the request, Elmore began looking through the windows of cars parked at the home. These are the people I'm talking about. This one happened to be over in Fruitland Park, which is right next door to the villages. Part of the villages is in Fruitland Park, and these people just roam around. I don't know if they're homeless, I don't know if they're drug addicts or whatever, but truthfully, that's not our problem. And they could be roaming around at your square asking for simple things like, please help me, I'm homeless and I need gas to go in my Mercedes. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, just be careful. Alligators becoming more active as mating season begins. Yes, the month of May is usually the start of mating season. That's when the male gators will actually travel over land. They generally will travel over land generally at night. So just beware if you're a nighttime walker or if you're an early morning walker like Sue was, and she used to walk from here to Brownwood every morning. And one time we're in, we had the famous alligator down there, and his mate is across the road in that swamp over there. And there was this little baby alligators all over the road, the golf cart path. And she stopped right there and came back. She didn't go any further. And I told her that's probably smart because if you see all them baby alligators running around that road, Mama probably isn't too far away. And for short spurts, these alligators, I think, can get up to 20 miles an hour. You don't want to be messing around with them. A drunk driver suspect at the wheel of a BMW was arrested after a report of a reckless driver in the Villages. Nathan Arlen Belair's 45 of Mountain Door was driving a silver 2012 BMW two-door sedan at about 10:30 p.m. at Marsh Bend Trail and East County Road 470 when he was nearly involved in a head-on collision, according to the arrest report. During a traffic stop, a deputy found that Belair's had glassy, watery, bloodshot eyes and was unsteady on his feet, according to the arrest report. He struggled with field sobriety exercise and finally said, just wanted to go to jail. He also refused to sign a citation. He was arrested on charges of driving under the influence and refusal to sign a citation and booked at Sumter County Detention Center. He was released after posting a $1,500 bond. Here's a letter to the editor about some more changes. People ask me all the time, what's the rule about this? What's the rules about that? I can't keep up with it. I can only tell you what I know, but sometimes I just don't know. And it's not that I'm stupid. I just can't keep up with all these changes. The village is getting big now to where they change rules in different districts. District 13 might have a rule change that District 10 that I'm in don't have that rule change because maybe we don't have that rule. The older section up there, they are probably the least amount of district rules of anybody here. So what rules I have here in District 8's different, District 6 could be different, District 2 could be totally different. I can't keep up with all the rule changes. So if you're interested in buying a home and you know what district it's in, check the district rules. That's my best advice to you, because then you know. Here's a letter to the editor about some kind of a rule change. I got a feeling I know what it is. It's probably going to be about the new golfing rules and the memberships. To the editor, I received a letter today telling me that I would no longer be able to use the executive courses without having to pay extra to use my cart. We knew that was coming. I didn't know they were not going to let you use the country club pools without paying a pool fee. So now when family or friends come, you can forget going to Orange Blossom or any other country club pool. So much for the few benefits of having a priority membership. They have let the courses quality run down, and now they won't even let you use the pools without paying more. How damn greedy can they get? That's sent in by Marvin Witt, the village of Lynnhaven. Thank you, Marvin. 2 teenagers were killed in an early morning crash Sunday in the construction zone on U.S. Highway 27 and 441 in Lady Lake. A single vehicle crash occurred at about 4 a.m. Nothing happens good after midnight. According to the Lady Lake Police Department, there were 4 teens riding in a vehicle at the time of the accident. 3 of them were not wearing seatbelts. 2 of the teens were pronounced dead at the scene, and another was transported to Ocala Regional Medical Center. His condition was not available Sunday night. The 4th teen, who was wearing his seatbelt, was not injured. Police were still investigating the details of the accident, and the complete accident report was not available. If you can avoid that site up there, by all means do it. Drive 5 miles out of your way just to stay out of that up there. The largest bicycle club in the Villages has announced that a class of electric bicycles has been banned from its club rides. Throttle-controlled Class 2 e-bikes are not covered by the Sumter Landing Bicycle Club's liability insurance carried, and therefore they are permitted from participating in SLBC rides. Members of the bicycle club are well known for adhering to strict safety protocols. That's a laugh. E-bikes have been popular sellers at local bicycle stores. A new store has opened at Trailwinds Village in Wildwood, exclusively dealing in e-bikes. However, e-bikes have caused a major split in the bicycle community between the traditional pedaling purists and those who enjoy zipping along with the freedom of electric assistance. I don't care one way or the other, truthfully. I don't. But I'm going to say something that's going to probably piss a lot of people off. I don't think bicycles, period, should be on the golf cart trails. I still call them golf cart trails. They can change the name all they want, willy-nilly. Just pick a name out of the cloud. Ooh, we're going to call it the everybody can use it. You know, they call it all kinds of names. It's a golf cart trail. They started out that way. To me, they still are. Anybody else that gets on them golf cart trails, I just say beware. You know, they have certain rules about what can be on there, what cannot be on there. I know one is a strict rule, but the secret is who enforces these rules. You're not allowed to have a skateboard at all on the golf cart trail. And I was also told roller skates of any kind, which also includes rollerblades, are not allowed on the golf cart trail. But I see it. And so my question was to Mr. Rohan, who patrols this? Who enforces these rules? Answer: we depend on the residents to enforce these rules. What? Yeah, this ain't going to turn into a fight, is it? Camp Village's Summer 2022 brochure will be available in May. Village of St. James resident finally gets her first hole in one. 5 long years, 3 months, and 22 days it took for Barbara Jenkins of the Village of St. James to get her first hole in one after her husband Dave got his on her birthday. She did it. She scored a lucky ace on hole number 7 at Yankee Clipper Executive Golf Courses, 123 yards, using her trusty driver. Odell recreational pickleball courts will be closed. St. James Recreation Area adult pool closed on Thursday. A competency evaluation on a woman has been filed for a woman who ran naked through an adult Aldi parking lot. I think, just by looking at this, you guys may want to go back to last week's news and check it out. I'm not going to do it. This looks like the same girl that got arrested last week, pulling her pants down in, I think, a church parking lot, if I remember right. And an officer made the report where she asked the officer if he wanted to see her panties. Remember that report? Tell me, does this look like the same girl, just a little dirtier? I could be wrong. Andy Michelle West, 30, was arrested May 7 when she was completely naked and climbed into a car with an autistic 17-year-old whose mother had stepped into the Aldi grocery store at US 301 and County Road 466 in Oxford. West spent 8 months behind bars before she was finally released this past December. A company evaluation was ordered by the judge and it has been filed, according to the Sumter County record. The evaluation remains sealed. West is due back in court in June. While she was behind bars, she found herself in more trouble after an altercation with detention staff at the jail. A villager was jailed after allegedly attacking a juvenile girl in a golf cart at Lake Sumter Landing. Joseph Sal Peretti, 61, was taken into custody Saturday night at his home at 4593 Tuscaloosa Path in the village of Osceola Hills. A witness told Sumter County Sheriff's deputies that Peretti had been harassing 2 juvenile girls in a golf cart earlier in the evening in the area of Canal Street, Stillwater Trail near Willerson Park. One of the girls had been driving the golf cart when the Manhattan native began to tailgate them, according to the arrest report. He pulled in front of them and blocked them in. He reached into the golf cart in an attempt to seize the key from the ignition. He grabbed the driver's arm, removed the golf cart key, and threw it into the grass. The second girl used her cell phone to record the altercation. Peretti got into a silver Kia and went home. He was picked up there by deputies because the girls got his license plate numbers. Good for you, girls. Good thinking. Peretti was taken back to Lake Sumter Landing for a show-up where he was positively identified by the girls. Peretti was arrested on charges of battery and booked to some kind of detention center. He was released after posting a $1,000 bond. Peretti and his wife purchased our home in the Villages for 2017 for $240. What the hell does that have to do with this? A drunk driving suspect with a Mexican passport was apprehended after weaving in and out of traffic. Mariano Barriga Roca, 32, of Lady Lake, was driving a silver Ford pickup at 10:22 p.m. Friday on State Road 25 when a Fruitland Park police officer noticed an erratic driving. During a traffic stop, Roca presented a police officer with a Mexican passport. A translator was summoned from the Lady Lake Police Department, and Lady Lake EMS responded to the scene, checked Roca's blood sugar level. I wonder how much that costs taxpayers to do that. Which was normal. It was determined that Roca had been driving without a motor vehicle license. Roca struggled through field sobriety exercises, which were performed in the parking lot of Leisure Living on Eagle Nest Road. Roca provided breath samples that registered to 0.204 and 0.198. Roca was arrested on driving under the influence and operating a motor vehicle without a license. A woman from Mexico carrying a Department of Homeland Security permanent resident card was arrested after she was caught driving without a license. Maria Fernandez Gonzalez, 24, of Marietta, Georgia, was driving a black SUV at 11:47 a.m. Friday, traveling counterflow from the left lane of traffic on US 27-441 and made a turn north onto roadway from Longview Avenue, according to the arrest report from Lady Lake Police Department. A traffic stop was initiated and Gonzalez handed the police officer a Department of Homeland Security permanent resident card. She admitted she did not have a driver's license and has never been issued one, including in her native country. Gonzalez's husband arrived at the scene to claim the SUV. He said they live in Georgia and were just in the area temporarily for work. She was arrested on a misdemeanor charge of driving a motor vehicle without a license. She was booked at the Lake County Jail and released after posting a $500 bond. I have never heard of that. Have any of you heard of that? A Department of Homeland Security permanent resident card. Wildwood Commissioner Marcos Flores recused himself from voting on the district because his wife has been named to serve as vice chair of the Middleton CDDA board. Board members include Scott Rennick, Chair, Lauren Flores, Vice Chair, Brandon Matulka, Secretary Treasurer, Lane Muntz, Supervisor, Bob Trin, Supervisor. Rennick is the village's Director of Commercial Development. Matulka is the Senior Manager of Land and Title for the villages. Trina is the CEO of the village's health. Ann Muntz is part of the Muntz family, which owns and operates Galaxy Home Solutions. Nearly 50,000 homes have been authorized by Wildwood and the villages of Southern Oaks, which stretches from State Road 44 to the city limits of Center Hill. When the development is complete, it will almost double the size of the original villages. Remember I told you guys about this good old boy system here? These people all work for the villages. That's where their paycheck comes from. And now he's appointing them. So whenever he wants something and he needs a vote, guess what? He gets the vote! Water has been shut off at a home in the villages used as a golf cart repair shop. The home at 923 St. Andrews Boulevard was the subject of a hearing Tuesday morning before special magistrate at Lady Lake Town Hall. Paul Kubeta is living at the home of his deceased mother, Hazel Kubeta. He is not a legal entity to the property, according to the testimony presented at the hearing. The village's utility department has shut off the water for non-payment. Kubeta has been operating an unlicensed golf cart repair shop at the home. Photographs presented as evidence showed golf cart parts strewn throughout the carport. In addition to the property is known as a drug house. When the town's code enforcement officer recently paid a visit to the manufactured home on the historic side of the villages, she was accompanied by 6 law enforcement officers. The code enforcement officer asked Special Magistrate Joshua Bills to force Kubeta to vacate the property, citing the fact that it is unhealthy to live there without running water. However, Kubeta pleaded with Special Magistrate asking that he be allowed to remain there. I am on a fixed income. Well, not if you're working on golf carts. I will get it straightened out tomorrow, Kubeta promised the special magistrate. And I know you will. Kubeta also vowed to give up the golf cart repair business he has been operating at the home. Property has been a problem for years. In 2019, the Village Center Community Development District Board of Supervisors agreed to forgive $500 fines at the home. In 2015, Kubeta was living in his mother's home when he was arrested after pawning jewelry that belonged to a hospitalized villager. He landed back behind bars when he later violated his probation in that case. The Villages wants prime street parking reserved for renters at Spanish Springs. Villages last month filed a site plan for 7 apartments in the Van Patten House, the former home of Katie Bells. The Lady Lake Town Commission is scheduled to discuss the request from the villages at the meeting set for 6 p.m. Monday, May 2nd at Lady Lake Town Hall. The agenda for the meeting was released on Wednesday and includes additional details about the village's plans, including where the renters will park. Plan calls for 16 parking spots, including 1 handicap designated space. Why don't you have them park behind the place instead of taking up street parking out front, which is like there's not enough there now? Just a thought. That is a public road, in case you guys don't know. He's asking Lady Lake to give up public parking for his own private needs. Let's keep it straight. A map provided by the developer of the villages shows the majority of the parking spots will be located on Delmar Drive, directly in front of the Van Patten House. 2 would be located across the street at the square. 2 more renter designated parking spots will be located next to the Farm Shed Restaurant, previously 2J's Gourmet Deli, and 2 more renter designated spots will be located on Alvarez Avenue near the World of Beer. Those are all public roads. An alleged jewelry thief to the villages is also suspected of having sticky fingers at the Sonic Drive-In restaurant where he is employed. Gary Eugene Joseph Restefo, 59, who lives with his parents in the village of Virginia Trace, was transferred April 20th from the Sumter County Detention Center to the Marion County Jail. He had been lodged in the jail at Bushnell since March 2 after he was arrested in connection with the alleged theft of jewelry from 74-year-old woman in the village of Alhambra. Restefo, a native of Cleveland, who has 13 theft convictions in Ohio, is also facing charges of defrauding the pawnbroker in Marion County, where he allegedly pawned the woman's jewelry. Truman Recreation Center and Family Pool will be closed Thursday. This ain't a letter to the editor. This is a commentary. I'm going to read this to you. The last 2 years or so have been contentious from surrounding towns, the village residents, and the business located in and around Spanish Springs Town Square toward the developer. Loss of jobs are just an example of the surrounding towns. Loss of revenue from diminishing job opportunities resulting from failing hospitality facilities located at Spanish Springs. The village residents and visitors that take pictures in front of the building have no place similar to Katie Bell's to meet the entertainment and hospitality that has benchmark that attracted many potential residents to settle in the villages. Village management recently publicly voiced through the Daily Sun their innocence from any association with the Disney Corporation. Daily Sun is owned by the developer and his companies, so nothing goes in there without his approval. Because the governor determined that the Disney Corporation, the park located in Florida, will also have to abide by the laws of Florida, no reflection on Disney business operations, just follow the rules. Why would the village's management even bring up for discussion anything to do with the governor or Disney if there is no association either? Word is the villages purchased some of the land south from the Disney Corporation, and Spanish Springs Town Square was engineered and developed by Disney management. Actually, Spanish Springs has a lot of similarities to the early Disney town entrance. Possibly for that period of time and by design, the villages did operate in the shadows of the Disney influence. Villages management boasts about maintaining hospitality, stewardship, innovation, and creativity, along with hard work to keep the villages an excellent place to live. Many of the residents agree that the village is the place to be. Why would the village management want to remove some of the hospitality facilities as originally established in the villages? The idea to place apartments at Spanish Springs Town Square, whether a whim, a concept, or a command, without the village's residents' input, is basically socially structuring. Apartments are a dead end cause, offering no hospitality replacement, a little employment opportunity. Spanish Springs Town Square is designated and operated as a commercial area for inception to recently as an entertainment and hospitality place for people that lived in surrounding areas with the village's residents. Changing the zoning regulations laws for commercial use to residential living is questionable. Why will the town of Lady Lake not change residential living area to commercial use? Spanish Springs needs the hospitality place that offers similar to that of Katie Bell's, featured to attract many people most of each day. I look at that up there and it makes me a little nervous as a property owner here. Is that trend going to go everywhere? Because it looks like to me it is. Brownwood was first, and we got those in, the lofts of Brownwood. Sue and Deb done an in-depth video. They got an inside tour. They were told by the lady there, talked about prices, what was included in the price, what you got for the price, all that. If you haven't seen that video, you got to go back and Sue and Deb watch that. But there was all kinds of stuff. And if that turned out to be a success as a developer, a real estate developer, don't know if I can blame them to think about, where else to go. But food for thought. I did a video on this also. Look down the main street there. Every building there has a second floor. If Katie Bell turns into a success, a real success, I'm saying beware. Those second floors on all them buildings up and down that main road could turn into apartment buildings also. Could be a sign of things to happen. Could happen in Brownwood too. Could happen in Lake Sumter, right downtown Lake Sumter. Right above the one restaurant, I can't think of the name of it, it's the Italian restaurant on the corner. Right above there's a second floor. That second floor is a private restaurant for the developer, and that's where he holds his meetings and things like that. You might be able to rent that yourself too for special things. I don't know that, but I do know the developer has special meetings up there and dinners for investors and things like that come to town. That can be turned into an apartment building. Who knows? That being said, let's get out of here. That's the news. See you all on the other side.